What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Sid, and today I'm back to discuss nursing resumes with you guys. So before we get into this video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of my uploads. And while you're at it, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. And yeah, let's get into this series. Okay, so I'm not sure about how your school or any place where you work does things, but nursing resumes are one of the hardest things to do if you've never had to do one, in my opinion. Yeah, I've never had to do a nursing style resume, and given that my school is slightly different from if you go to like a 4-year university or something of that nature, they kind of don't really tell you how to do it. It's more of a do it and then come to us and we can help you figure out if it's good, if it's not good, what you may have done right or wrong, all that good stuff. So I decided to make this video because I'm sure there's some people out there like me who kind of struggled and didn't want to wait till the last minute to figure it out. So I had a general resume template that I got from a mentor in high school, and I kind of went off of that template style to make my resume. And then I did a few Googles, you know, we love the girl Google. Did a few Googles, and I watched a couple of videos here. The videos helped a little bit, but the websites that I found were more helpful to me, and I'll link everything below if you want to go watch those videos or use the links. Yeah, so the first thing that I'm going to cover in this series is resume formatting. So one thing with resumes, obviously you don't want it to be longer than 1 page unless you've gotten past a certain point with your education, and I think within your career as well, like experience. I think that's when you can start going past 1 page. I've never ever gone past 1 page. If I can make it 1 page, no matter what I have to eliminate, delete, whatever, 1 page is golden. So with formatting, first things first, you want to pick the order of how you want to have your information on your resume. First things first, your name, contact information, and location should be top of the page. That should be front and center. That should be front and center, because if they don't know your name, then you're not doing it right anyway. So name, contact, so your phone number, email, professional emails only. We are not using your childhood email that some cartoon character or something that's just not appropriate. Professional emails only, and I would advise not using your school email, because after 6 months your school email expires. So you could, 6 months after graduation or a full semester after graduation, your school email expires. So you could be getting offers, emails, people trying to contact you to an email that no longer exists. So use a personal email, a professional email address, something with your name, or you'll figure it out. Okay, so after figuring out how you want to format things, there are other formats. That's the best one for me. And like I said, I'll put the link in the description where you can see the other format options, and I'll put the videos that I watched so you can see how they did theirs in those. But after you figure out how you want your information ordered, then you have to make sure that the less particular as far as content on the page, but more so like the visual formatting is together. So for a resume, the margins of the page from top and bottom, so header and footer margins should be 1 inch. So you'll have 1 inch of space between the top and the bottom, which is basically the size of a header and footer if you're using Microsoft Word. And then the side margin, so left to right sides of the page, should be set to 0.63. And I don't think this is a preset custom. I don't think this is a preset margin. I think I had to make a custom margin for this one. But it just gives you the proper balance of blank space to content on the page. And this is how you make sure you don't have it too cramped together with your information. And also it does limit how much you fit on the one page, but it's the standard. So when you do it that way, your resume looks more like what they want it to look like versus a bunch of clutter, jumbled together words with not enough space in between. And then after that, you want to do the everything should be left aligned. If it's not there's certain things that you don't have to have left aligned to a degree. Like when you have your dates, the primary line starts all the way to the left and then you add your date further out, so technically it's still left aligned, but the date is always going to be like opposite side of whatever you're listing as the degree or the job, position held, whatever. And the length of the resume, as I stated, should be 1 page. Once you get into 2 pages, that's just based on your experience and education. So say you have like a PhD, or you go back to become a nurse practitioner, then that's when you probably will get into having multiple page long resumes. And the last part of just general visual formatting is font and font size. So for your name should always be the biggest thing on the page. Your name should be any size between 18 to 22 point. And the fonts that usually resumes would be in are Times New Roman or like Arial, Calibri, basically the generic like default fonts that you would use on Word or that you're required to use on papers or anything that you have to turn in at school. So Times New Roman and Calibri and Arial are like your safest options. I believe I use Calibri body for majority of mine. Yeah, Calibri body. For the contact information, which will typically fall right under your name, that should be any size between 10 and 11 point font. And then your section headers should be 12 to 14. And you can do those all caps or part caps, part lowercase, like general sentence structure, whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat, whatever you find visually appealing. And then your descriptions, as far as like the degree name and whatever, should be 10 to 11 point font. The smallest font on the page should never be smaller than 10. And you should always make sure that whatever color you choose for your font is easy to read, not too hard to see. Safest option, black. But if you're doing some other color for some reason, just make sure it's easy to read. Okay, so now we're getting into the actual format. So this is going to be more of how you order your information and less of what information is on the resume. We'll get into actual content and content breakdown in the next portion of this series. So I did my resume in reverse chronological style. This is the style that I was taught to write resumes in. To me, it makes the most sense. So that's the way I went with it from the template that I had from previous experience. And with reverse chronological order, you would put everything in order from most recent to least recent in each section. So for the section with my professional experience, most recent is the job I have now. Least recent is the internship I had when I was doing my bachelor's degree. And then same goes for like volunteer experience, for clinical experience. You would start with most recent to least recent, all of that jazz. There are alternate options. If you find reverse chronological order not to be the way for you, I will have those linked in the description box from the website that I used before. And on that website, there are 2 other styles. There's functional resume layout, and then there's combination of reverse chronological and functional. I didn't even really look into those 2 because I knew that I was gonna do it the way that I had already known how to do it. The only thing as far as formatting goes was more so the content breakdown, which I said we'll address in another video, and not the formatting itself. All right, and the last thing that I want to address with formatting, yes, we've covered style, we've covered margins, we've covered font style, font size, almost everything you can think of. I think that I have addressed as far as formatting goes. But one thing that technically is not necessarily formatting, it's just a general rule of thumb. Always reread your content and what you have on your resume. Double, triple check, have somebody check behind you, all of that, just so that your resume doesn't get thrown out before it even gets looked at, really. Misspelling things, things being in weird colors, anything of that nature can hinder you more than it can help you. So just be cautious, and it's never gonna hurt you to take a little bit more time to double or triple check that you have everything as it should be. All right, you guys, so that is all for the formatting portion of nursing resumes made easy with Sydney. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I will link everything that I used to make my resume in the description box. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, any tips that you might have for me, please drop them below. Give this video a thumbs up while you're at it, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss part 2. I'll see you.